how do you convince people in the US and Western countries to accept this complete invasion of privacy? How do you overcome the founding documents and its fundamental rights set forth in a Bill of Rights? By causing complete chaos, breaking down culture, and increasing crime to the point where the population is begging for order. And that order comes in a digital police state, where every action is monitored. And what is the instrument used to bring about this chaos? Woke. The globalists have enlisted neo-Marxism leftist ideology to bring about this state of chaos. Let's begin with culture. American culture is rooted in conservative Christian values, men and women fulfilling traditional roles, having large families, holding religious views, owning land, loving your country, and individual rights. When this culture is strong, it's impossible to break down. So, how do you do it? First, you need a philosophy that is the antithesis to this. Enter Marxism. But it didn't work. Why? Because Marxism calls for revolution, and a comfortable population with all their needs met does not want revolution. If family, safety, and jobs make people comfortable, then Marxism cannot win. So you amend it. You change parts of it to fit the new world. You switch the rich versus poor to the victim and the oppressed. You change class war to culture war, identity war. You take classical Marxism as a base, then develop things like critical race theory, which says that society was created by whites for whites, to make all blacks and other races to believe that they are oppressed. You take queer ideology and you make people believe that they are born in the wrong body and oppressed by a society that forces them to conform to gender roles. You take postmodern philosophy and convince people objective reality is fake and that they themselves determine what reality is. You attempt to use education to indoctrinate children into this woke leftism with things such as social emotional learning, to convince white children that they are the oppressor and need to become anti-racist. And when parents disagree with what teachers are indoctrinating children with, you enact laws that lessen the rights parents have over their children. You enable children to think that gender dysphoria is okay, and that sterilizing themselves by cutting off their breast or genitals will bring them happiness. And when a child is being convinced of this, to not tell their parents, and enact laws that state that a parent who disagrees with a child's transition is labeled as child abuse, thereby giving control of the child to the state to indoctrinate without the pesky parents getting in the way. You then take this army of indoctrinated leftists and instruct them to become activists. And that's where we are now. An entire generation of indoctrinated children being pushed to want revolution, to overthrow the system, to finally give Marxists what they wanted all along. Communism, which is basically the rule of the powerless by the powerful. This is no different than what we had when kings and queens ruled their subjects without any rights, any freedom of speech, or any property. And this experiment of individual rights and power to the many that was pioneered during the French Revolution and has ruled most of the world since then will die a quiet death.